Everybody wants to get themselves a little bit of money and then be like, oh, look at, he's shining on them haters. You know, like, I'm going to hide it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're not going to know I have it because if you do, you want it.
That's right.
Non Apologetic
Nonsense.
BROKE. That is me. I built up such an awesome nest egg, more money than I had ever seen. And then I was like Scrooge McDucking it. You know what I mean? I was just keeping that money and just hoarding it. And then I had the idea, you know, we talked about this last time with the storage container. I was going to get the shipping container, completely do it up, paid the $5,000 for the unit. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put maybe another $1,000 or $2,000 into it. But the first thing I need to do is insulate it. So I got an estimate on the spray foam, and they want like $2,000 to spray foam that thing. And then when I was planning out there how it's going to get done, it all dawned on me. Once they put 4+ inches of spray foam on the walls and the ceiling, I no longer have access to them. So any sort of mount, wiring, anything I'm going to do has to be 100% that I'll ever do to a certain extent before I get it insulated. Everything has to be done. So the price like quadrupled to get started because it's no longer the price to get started. It's the price to get finished. I threw that $5,000 in for the storage container. Then I threw another $5,000 of my money into it. And then I'm counting my money and I'm down to like not much. So I did the math and it was like in 30 days, I'm going to be paycheck to paycheck again. And I haven't been like this in 5+ years. So I thought, well, why the hell don't I go to the bank? Probably should have done this from the beginning and got like a $15,000 loan. Yep. So Mr. Slick Boots, that's me, I sent an email to the bank and I said, hey, I need to come by and pick up $5,000 tomorrow. And they said, okay. So I went and picked up $5,000 and now I'm chipping away at that at the moment. But yeah, so I had to spend through everything I had, and I had more money than I had ever seen, you know, and I'm not even giving accurate figures here because I don't want anybody to know how much money I actually had. And that's what I loved about it. Everybody wants to get themselves a little bit of money and then be like, oh, look at, he's shining on them haters. You know, like, fuck yourself. I'm going to hide it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're not going to know I have it because if you do, you want it.
That's right.
I like to do favors for people. I like to do good deeds. Now, I'm going to prove a point here before I go into this. Anybody? If you do a good deed and then, like, there's certain things I do that a buddy of mine had said, well, why don't you film it? People would like that. You know, I'd get all the, oh, you're such a good guy, Travis. You know, because I think those types of people are vultures. I also think it's a bitch-made move to do a good deed and then brag about it in any sense. Yeah. Oh, here's the specifics of what I did for someone, you know. I see it all the time on social media.
I see him too.
Homeless man, I gave him $5.
Well, he's like, I'll give you 100. I can give you 100 or double it and give it to the next person. And that goes on until they find that one asshole's like, give me that. I wonder too, if like they're doing this nice thing, and then once they're done filming, it's like, hey, I'm going to need that money back. We're just fucking you.
Or it was finally the person who took it was his buddy.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody who's watching was like, that's fucking Jimmy. You know. I saw one of those. I've only seen one of them. I haven't seen money one, but I saw it was like, do you want a gram of gas or double it and give it to the next person?
A gram of gas.
It was crazy. I don't even remember. It was like, do you want 214 grams of gas? And before they could even finish the shit, this like 15-year-old kid was like, I want the gas. I want the gas. And then they just put it all in his backpack and then put it on YouTube. All of this good deed stuff is just to say that there are certain things that I do for people and that now I'm not able to do, okay? And that I've recently told a couple of them, you know, like, hey, wells ran dry. You know what I mean? Like if you're calling for something, call someone else. You know what I mean? Because right. I'm to that point where I got to make this work or I'm dicked. And then I do notice that about 50% of those people are treating me a wee bit different now.
By just not talking to you?
Yeah, it would be like, well, see, because if they're going to ask for something, they have to call me a couple times ahead of, you know what I mean? Like, they have to be like, hey, what's going on? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, talk to you later. 2 days later, hey, just checking in with you. Yeah, just thinking about making sure you're doing good. Da-da-da. And then the third one's like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do. Fucking life sucks. So, you know, I imagine I won't hear from one of them. There's this one dude, he passed recently. I actually just talked to his baby mama yesterday. His son, he used to do music, Nino.
Yeah.
His son is making music. She sent me a song. Has nothing to do with this, but it reminded me of how Nino would act with me. Except he'd put all 3 of those phone calls into one phone call. Okay? He'd be like, yeah, man, I was just chilling, just thinking about you, just checking in to see how you're doing. And I'm already in my head, and I'm like, you fucking dick. And then I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, yeah, it's been going good. It's been going. Oh, well, that's great, man. That's great. Well, check it out. Here's what I need, you know? And it was always for like a day. He'd be like, I need a microphone, an interface, and an external compressor just for the weekend. But, you know, anything that you give him. I remember one time, you know, I learned my lesson quick not to give him anything, rest in peace. But he was like, I need a microphone. I got someone coming in. I have a paid gig. I need to make rent or whatever. I don't have a microphone. And I'm like, how the fuck do you have a paid gig if you don't have a microphone? Anywho, I had just upgraded my mic, and I was like, here, use this, but I'm about to sell that so I can pay for the mic I just bought on credit. He, like, ignores me for months, right? And then I talked to him. I tracked him down at one point, and I was like, hey, where is that microphone? And he's like, I sold it. And there was like no shame in his game. Good old Nino Black. We will always remember thee. Did you?
It's a nice memoriam.
Yeah. You know what he said the last time I talked to him?
I'm out.
Anywho, did you see that in order to start, did you see I bought the Elden Ring DLC?
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it.
Right.
You're welcome. But, yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, if you have 2 PlayStation's accounts, you make, like, my PlayStation has him as the primary, me as a secondary. Reverse that. My name's the primary on his secondary. So any game either of us buy, we both can play in different locations on our respective consoles. Did you see you have to beat 2 specific bosses to be able to start the DLC? The only reason I say that is because I think it's one you didn't fight.
What are they?
One of them's a basic boss that's through like so basic. That's like through the main game, so you would have beat him. I don't Godfrey or someone. The other one is Moog. The God of Blood. Did you beat him?
Yeah.
How the hell did you beat him?
Down in there where the farming spot is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had to have help. There you
go.
I didn't do it by myself.
Early on?
I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one where I was playing. This dude came in where I first discovered like the true power of that common Azura. He came in just... and it was over like that, dude. I didn't hit him once. I just stood back. And he's like messaging me or whatnot. It's like, just go in and just stand still. I got this.
Yeah, stand back, Junior.
Yeah.
Well, as being a guy who has played through Dark Souls and saw that anytime I have trouble with a boss and there's a fog wall, I always look, can I get around the fog wall? Because there's been times where you can, and if you get around the fog wall without walking in it, the boss never starts. And they just
stand there?
Yeah, and you just wail on him. So I was able to do that and beat that boss that way.
I did see I didn't read it too. I saw the headline. You get a Dark Souls 2 is getting a remaster in there.
No way.
Yeah.
That's not true. I've been bamboozled. 2 days ago, there's a headline. The sequel to Bloodborne Knights of Demora or something is being made now. And I'm like, what? So I click on it, and they're like, here's what the world's being based on. Here's the enemies. And then on, like, paragraph 4, and they're like, and we really look forward to this book coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That's not it. Today, I saw what Dark Souls fans have finally been waiting for. We never thought there'd be a sequel or something, but it wasn't so clickbaity. And I'm like, you already got me once, but I'm going to click. So I click, and sure enough, it was another fucking book. So you're saying Dark Toast 2?
When I opened up Google.
No way. Because why would Dark Souls 2 get a remake?
That was a PS.
It's a great show. It's both on our phones. You do it. Hey, my item sold for $75. Woo!
Here's one, too.
I'm not broke no more, son. So I just called you Simon. Your name's Thomas.
I don't know what this is. Let's see. But it says Dark Souls, The Willow King officially announced.
That's the book.
That's the book?
That's the book. That's the exact thing I saw today.
Well, then, yeah, we won't even bother with that.
Today. That's what I saw. Yeah, it's a freaking book. And Miyazaki, the guy behind it, he's already said that he thought Dark Souls 3 was the closure point for Dark Souls, that there was going to be no more. That was it. It's a trilogy. What the fuck are you doing?
10 years after its release, Dark Souls 2 is finally getting the long-awaited remaster that it deserves.
Do you have a fucking privacy fucking screen on your phone?
I do. Yeah.
Cha-ching, Thomas. Your item sold for $75. First alert, Z-Wave smoke and carbon monoxide detector works with Ring, has been paid for, and can now be shipped.
It works with Ring? Like the doorbell?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I don't know what that means, but it says
I don't either. I have a Ring doorbell. I don't know how I'd link a fire alarm.
Oh, I bet you it'll give you an alert on your phone. Just like if someone were at your house. It'll be like, fire's here.
Ding dong.
All right. Shenanigans. But yeah, I am broke. BROKE. If you like broke boys, come see me. And until I make some money, I may not be back.
Non Apologetic Nonsense.